and everyone who's not at Everfree.
We are so glad to have you all here watching us today. My name is Grandpaws,
I am Emperor Bugle,
and this is going to be one fun
and
event.
everyone who,
Rebecca
yeah,
told Taco Bell she'd fold 1,000
we
paper
had
swans.
uh, two events on stream last night, actually, so we weren't commentating, but it did happen. Maybe some of you saw some of that. I saw a little bit of the popper. I don't know if you saw anything.
I didn't get the chance to catch much. What can you tell me?
Well, for the first round of popper, it was just the image that we see right now. There was a bit of a technical difficulty going on there. The second round, all I was Fluttershy, Friend to Animals versus Pinkie Pie, Ambassador of Laughter. I don't know quite how that went down because I was working at time, but I know it happened. It was a very pretty Fluttershy. It was the promo Fluttershy.
Ooh, those are shiny. Well, it's good to see such a successful turnout at what has been an awesome event and one that has a little bit of special meaning to us, am I correct?
Mm, I can't think of it. Oh, right. Oh, right. A little. I think Everfree was the first ever Penn versus Matt tournament.
That's right, and that rivalry has continued to heat up over the year. Mm. But yes, Everfree was the start, and we are glad to still be here casting.
Absolutely. Even if someone couldn't participate in quite as many commentary sessions as some other people.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Well, you know what? You gotta save the good stuff. You gotta make them want it. That's what it is. It's that
Hmm.
scarcity that makes it so desirable. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
But seriously, it's great to have you back. Um, I'm glad to be here too. As I mentioned in previous streams, I was hoping to actually be on site at Everfree, but that didn't happen. Long story short, I've been waiting for a particular life event to happen. It has not happened yet, and so I decided to not go to Everfree. On the plus side, however, there's a very, very large chance that I will be going to BronyCon, and there will be a special surprise there, but I'm not going to talk about that quite yet. This is the all the hint that you're getting right now.
Well, there you go. It still sounds like it's going to be a fun time, and I'm sure people will look forward to seeing you in person at whatever cons you can make it out to for the rest of this year.
Yep.
So let's talk a bit here about Everfree before the tournament gets underway. There is some significance beyond just this being the anniversary of commentary. This tournament actually has some pretty big significance for the community as a whole. Why is that, Bugle?
Well, chances are that everyone watching this right now is aware that there were some slight changes to the game as of about, what, 1.5 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, really just minor things. I don't think they'll have much of an impact at all on the game.
Not at all, not at
Yeah.
all. But this is the first, at least the first streamed, but I'm pretty sure this is actually the first major event that is going under effect with these new rules. A few local game shops have obviously played with them, of course, but I can't think of any cons that happened between today and a week and a half ago.
Yeah, nor can
Or,
I. I know there were a few that missed it slightly,
yes, like Babs.
mm, but it's certainly going to be interesting. As a quick reminder for anyone in chat or anyone watching the stream right now, the biggest change of these rules is in relation to how problem bonus points are scored. Previously, the first player to confront a problem would score that problem's points, in addition to winning the higher of the two problem bonus points during a face-off, double problem face-off. Now, you only win the problem bonus points for successfully winning a face-off there.
Right. There are, of course, a few cards that reference bonus points, and those will still work as normal. But as far as the core game rules are concerned, the only time that bonus points matter is when someone wins a problem face off. At least bonus points for problems. Bonus points for troublemakers, well, that's not changed at all.
Of course not. And in fact, I would expect to see Troublemaker farming continuing to have a strong presence in the metagame right now as a result.
Yes, so we're in an interesting spot here because we have these new rules, and the 6 previous sets that are out right now were all under assumption of the previous rules, while this next set, set 7, is going to at least had some assumption that the new rules are going to come into play. So we're in a weird spot that we have new rules, but not new cards. So, and people will only really have a little bit of time to build decks for that itty-bitty in-between time.
Yeah, it is a bit unusual. It's obvious that these rules changes were designed to synergize with some of the set 7 cards that we've seen spoiled so far, and so it will be kind of cool to see what people have found that already exists that can work well in a deck trying to take advantage of that new rules change before we get all those new shiny tools.
So, do you think we're going to see any decks that were fine-tuned for the new rules, or do you think we're going to see basically the same stuff?
You know, I think there's a few archetypes that are going to survive, that are going to be eternal, and I think there's a few others that are going to diminish in strength somewhat. I would expect, initially, one of the strongest decks that people have seen as far as aggro is concerned, running Mono Bluna, to actually be shifting over to white to try to take advantage of Rarity Truly Outrageous for point acceleration.
Right. Yeah, the Rarity is clearly slightly better. Night Glider is actually better too, though, because you're more inclined to start face-offs and competitive matters that much more, and so on and so forth. And Night Glider can actually score points on the opponent's turn.
This is true. Night Glider is capable of doing that, although we won't see the blowout turns from Luna quite as often, I think.
No.
Though the deck hasn't technically lost any speed of what it's capable of doing to confront, the fact that it's not scoring nearly as many points at once means that the game will probably remain at 3 action tokens for a longer period of time, which will make it more difficult to confront those non-starting problems.
Yeah, and the traditional hopeful play that Bluna had of turn 2 double confronting, scoring a minimum of 5 points, has become scoring a minimum of 3 points, and that's not quite as impressive.
Do you mean maximum? Or no, minimum.
Minimum.
You're right, minimum.
Yes, maximum, if you can throw in some Rarity Breezies or somehow get a Night Glider on the board, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Tricks can happen.
There are tricks. So I think we can definitely expect that from aggro. Octavia as a main has suffered somewhat just because she hasn't had the speed to be able to match Luna in early games, but she does have the advantage of already being in the primary color of RTO and being able to synergize very well with secondary colors that can lend her more towards a mid-range deck. Do you think she might pop up a bit more?
I still think the white-pink deck might work a little bit. While it is a little bit slower, you'll just have to change her strategy a little bit. You want to basically just, whenever you're playing friends, you're aiming to face off, is what should be her strategy at this point. And she's really, really good at winning face-offs because she'll go, okay, I'll spend 2 AT and I've got 7 power. And no other main can do that right now.
That's right. There's also the big advantage of Octavia being relatively resistant to cards like Prince Rutherford, in that as long as you're giving the power boost to your main, your opponent playing a hasty friend to try to get something down can actually just end up leaving you at the same power, if not giving you more, since Octavia triggers off of any friend entering play.
Well, assuming you have characters at both problems, yes.
Sure. But again, we're assuming you're going for a DFO as often as you can.
Yes, which is typically how I played her anyway, unless I had an RTO and was just like, it's kind of more beneficial to just score this 3 bonus point every single turn.
Yeah, and I would expect that as well from a number of different decks. we're in an interesting position where cards, especially problems that haven't really been competitively playable for the last 2 years, might suddenly make a return because the risk of flipping one and giving your opponent the next confront opportunity is far, far less. For
Yeah,
example,
stuff like Avalanche as a starting problem is
oh,
actually way, way more appealing now.
oh yeah, absolutely. Cards like Mean Meanie Pants in pink decks, they were already seeing some play, but now it's even less risky for you. Kitchen au flambe, Want It, Need It.
Want it, yeah. So a lot of the older problems might be making a comeback, is basically what we're saying. Some of them might not. Uh, like some of them are still just problems that have confront requirements and text that almost doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like the blue one, the wing power one.
Yeah, 795 wing power.
Yeah, that lets you ready a resource at home if you at the score phase if you have 3 blue characters. That's pretty niche, but still, just being a 2/2 that gives you 2 bonus if you win the face-off is pretty relevant.
Absolutely. So outside of problems and aggro decks, which we've talked about here, we've obviously seen a big presence from villain farming decks, especially Applejack, Element of Honesty, in the current metagame. How do you think that deck is affected by the rules change, if at all?
Very slightly for this tournament, I think. Applejack. Well, actually, no. I take it back. It's in against aggro. It actually slightly hurts Applejack. Now, here's my argument for this. While Applejack won't be scoring typically, doesn't typically care about confronting problems for the most part, aggro can go, oh, Applejack is there. Let me confront this problem and start a face-off, and now Applejack won't steal the bonus points first. Even, you might lose the face-off, or hopefully you'll win the face-off, so you can actually win that race. You are more incentivized to start those problem face-offs rather than starting the problem face-off to hope that Applejack and hope that you can get some points, basically. So it's less a direct nerf and more an indirect nerf, because aggro will be more willing to actually start those face-offs.
I can see that. Its primary method of point generation, like you're talking about, still remains as competitive and as
Correct.
fast as it is.
Correct, but it won't punish aggro players for trying to be aggro players, which is an important distinction.
Mm-hmm. So with aggro and mid-range covered, we move on to control then. We've seen a lot of different varieties of control decks. White appears numerous times, blue appears occasionally, purple is the mainstay of it still. What are we looking at as control decks in this new rules environment?
So without new cards, and new cards are clearly going to change everything that I'm about to say, I think control benefits the most. While they don't have the control typically is last to confront problems. I think most people will agree with this.
Or has been, anyway.
Yeah, typically. Control sometimes got bonus problems. I know it's happened to me. I've played Snips and Snails specifically to score new bonus problems. But typically, they don't care about those bonus points. So this will... like I was saying with the aggro versus mid-range deck, how aggro is, or mid-range got indirectly nerfed, I think control got indirectly buffed against aggro, because aggro will take slightly more time to get to the same point thresholds that control is worried about.
I can see that.
And since and plays like Snips and Snails away your troublemaker into a new bonus problem and confront that for a lot of points is a lot less scary, because if they're flipping into a 2 bonus problem with Snips and Snails and there's no characters there, you're still only going to get 1 point.
That's very true. Now, obviously, the introduction of dilemmas, which we've seen spoiled for set 7 so far, are going to make things very
Right.
interesting in that regard.
So, like I said, set 7 is going to completely invalidate everything I just said. But as for today, I think Control got the best benefit of the rules change.
I can agree with that. Well,
Well,
I think
except
with
maybe Combo.
what?
Maybe Combo got the best benefit.
I'm sorry, what archetype?
Combo?
What's that?
We'll just have to find out, won't we?
Maybe. As far as I know, there's only 3 archetypes: aggro, mid-range, and control.
Uh-huh. So those games that we watched you playing against Pile of Presents didn't happen.
Nope, never happened.
Okay.
And I certainly didn't write a primer. Absolutely not. And you've certainly never done anything related to that.
Nope.
Nope. If Applejack were here right now, there'd be steam coming out of her ears.
Maybe.
But yes, seriously, how is Combo affected by this? In the short term right now, before set 7 and we see what other pieces it might get, it's probably at slightly favored over before.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you just a moment here. Looks like we're just about to go to the table. So, looks like we're about ready to start.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds like... So, some people are going to be confused about the Princess Twilight Sparkle ruling. I don't know if that's going to be relevant for this particular game, but as far as Everfree Northwest is concerned, Princess Twilight Sparkle will flip at Ancient Research.
All right, that's good. We've already
There's
seen...
an Eevee on the... no, there's not an Eevee.
Eevee's gone. Yep, we've already seen the official upcoming errata announcement from the developers, so we know that that is how the card was intended to work. Yeah.
So,
it's just waiting for the OCR for the next update.
So this is a very pretty mat, and that's a main that I don't think I have ever seen on stream before.
Trixie as a main. This will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Applejack, which we already discussed. We fully expected to see Applejack in this tournament. Trixie is most likely going to be playing a control style using a large number of events to control the board.
So, interestingly enough, Trixie might actually have a good meta game against Applejack, because Trixie is all about playing events on the opponent's turn when they start face-offs. And Applejack is all about starting face-offs on their turn.
And this is a good point. Now, we've talked before about a few particular events that see play that you favor in a mid-range matchup over a control matchup, one of the big ones being Star Swirl Research. How do you feel about that here against Applejack?
Star Swirl can help a little bit against Applejack, but Applejack flipping 2 cards off of Rock Slide and then Carbo Loader and just Applejack getting a ton of power, if you don't play Star Swirl Research super early, typically won't help you. Because even going against, say, an Aoi Zodal with your 3-power Applejack, Star Swirl would make that 12, but Applejack flipping twice is going to be something like typically 11, maybe 12. So you could do it that early and be just fine. But later, I don't think it will actually help. Flipping a penny to see who's going first. So, looking at the mains, who do you think is going to come out ahead?
Ooh. You know, I've seen Applejack play, even against a deck that was designed in Toolbox to have answers to beat her, and without knowing the secondary color of Trixie, I'm going to put the ball in Applejack's court, but we'll have to see. I just saw some interesting cards in Trixie's deck as the player was shuffling, so we will find out.
We will, in fact, find out. That's what we're here for.
What do you think?
Like you said, Trixie is a bit of a wild card. While I would like to see Trixie using a whole bunch of events and putting Applejack in her place, as it were, I think I'm going to give the advantage to Applejack as well. But that's mostly just because I know what Applejack is capable of. I don't know what this Trixie deck is going to be doing.
That's fair. And hey, to all our streamers out there, what's that mysterious thing that just popped up on screen? Could it be a score overlay?
Never. But no, yeah, this is a really cool thing. We'd been talking about this for several streams now. Of course, people have wanted something like this, and people also wanted an AT tracker, but unfortunately, that's just not feasible at this time. But hopefully, this will make up for that a little bit. Simply being able to see the points, I'm sure, is pretty cool.
Yep, getting right into the game here, looks like Trixie went first and played 2 troublemakers to each problem. Well, one
That's a bit
troublemaker
risky,
to each
actually,
problem.
because now Applejack can, Applejack just moves up to the troublemaker and says, I will beat that.
Let's see, 2 Ari Mossbees, so trying to get the villains not to flip.
That's not bad, but again, if Applejack wins that face-off, she's just bigger.
Mm-hmm. Although I do understand why he might want to do that. The trick of turn 1 playing a Starlight Glimmer over to a problem just to move Applejack up immediately can be rather tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he flipped 2 Pie Sisters.
Oh, so he does in fact lose 7-9.
But he plays a barrel through.
Oh, so this will almost certainly tie, if not.
Yep, and another barrel through will secure him that face-off. So Applejack will flip, but gain no bonus for defeating Ari Mossby.
But she's getting 2.
Yep, there's the power counters. Now, because Rockslide does specify a non-orange confront requirement, Applejack won't be able to solo confront that this turn.
No.
And we should get the player to clear that barrel through out of the center of the table as well. Yeah, there we go. Well, Applejack simply plays a face-down troublemaker, almost assuredly a villain or an epic, to Rockslide and passes the turn back to Trixie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, explaining why he was confused about the barrel through there. So, okay. So, Applejack's initial, or not Applejack's, Trixie's initial.
Sorry, Bugle, you cut out there for just a moment.
Gambit didn't seem to pay off there. So,
yeah,
I think she's in a bad spot here.
She certainly could be, with no friends to confront and get her flipped. That's not going to be good. And Applejack just flips an Aoi Zodal, so here comes the villain farming.
Yep.
And with a bailout versus a Twilight Sparkle cover to cover, that's definitely in Applejack's favor, although he is flipping an additional card. And there's a Carbo Loader going on the bottom. Not exactly the card that Applejack wants to see, but hey, he'll take those points however he can find them.
Yes.
Applebeam, we are doing our best to try to get the quality of the stream up. Because we are doing remote commentary, it can be a little bit tricky.
But yeah, Applejack is basically trucking along exactly how she wants to.
Okay, well, we see
Trixie
playing Trixie. Moving over and apparently trying to secure the bonus at Rockslide. And that'll be 1 point to Trixie.
Yeah. Well, you don't secure bonuses in this anymore.
Oh, that's true.
But it is 1 point, yes.
Thank you for reminding me.
Now that Trixie is probably about to get scared.
And there she is indeed. And this is definitely not good with that being an Aoizodal, because Trixie Main is in no shape to be able to confront that solo.
No.
Although, at least Applejack's player is not flipping 2 cards at Rock Slide currently, and I spoke too soon.
Yeah, so I would not challenge that Aoizodal at any point as Trixie right this second. So I see a Deep Darkness in Applejack's hand and a Camo mod.
Yeah, Applejack's doing what she does best. Get those villains out there, start fighting, and get stronger and stronger.
Oh, she's got an Epiphany in hand, too.
Looks like a minuet over in Trixie's hand. Potential some flickering effects. Or,
Yes.
no, I'm sorry. That's the
Actually-
draw 2, put 1 back.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yes. If it was fast forward, that wouldn't be bad with the Trixie at all. Could just keep sending back Applejack turn after turn after turn and get some serious advantage that way.
Yeah, Clipped Wings and a Seabreeze's Flower will add up to 8 power total. And that is definitely going to be going in Applejack's favor unless Trixie has
Oh,
tricks. And it does not look like it.
Tricks up her sleeve?
This is one of the tricky parts of Trixie. And I know we're saying that word a lot. But even though her boosted effect can be quite strong, it takes a while to actually get there if you don't have the color
Yes.
requirement. Since you also need to have the AT saved up not only to play your event, but to flip her. And it looks like that's another 2 points. Oh, no. That was Trixie challenging. Applejack's got to bail out. 2 Carvel Loaders gone.
Applejack's just got a handful of gas here. She is completely in control of the game right now. And she could even play that... So, would you play that Deep Darkness to score an extra point right now?
You know, I might, depending on what other troublemakers were available in hand. You know,
Well,
why stop a
there's an
good
epic.
thing? Yeah, if he's got more epics, you know, keep that point train rolling. But if he doesn't, yeah, absolutely, play the Deep Darkness, stop your opponent from being to draw into either entry friends or events. You know, so far all he's seen is a Trixie friend come down. We haven't actually seen another event played yet, so he might just assume that his opponent has drawn dead.
Right.
And he does play the Deep Darkness, and it looks like that'll confront
Yeah.
for a point.
Yeah. That will... And since that Deep Darkness is almost certainly going to be frightened here, he can draw if he feels the need to, but has turned off Trixie's ability to draw more than one extra card.
It's an intelligent play.
Yeah, I think that was the correct call here. Yep. Gotta love that cover-to-cover free discount.
Trixie looking at options here.
Yep.
And there's a Ponyville Emergency, so that will qualify for an event.
Yeah. Yes, but he doesn't have the extra AT to flip her.
It does stall him for a turn, though.
Yes.
Now, what's interesting here is by choosing to move home Deep Darkness as well, He's actually ensured
He
that.
actually had to.
Well, no, he had. Is it opposing friend or just friends?
Purple effects are opposing friends.
Okay. And it looks like a Nightmare Moon flip is going to be detrimental to both of them.
Oh, yes, actually. See, I think he was expecting to draw 3 cards there, but Trixie actually. So Trixie is actually slightly has the advantage here because she's got the meticulous and the extra AT, even if she is down points.
Yeah, but with Applejack up to 9 power on her own and flipping an additional
Right.
card,
Yeah, it requires a little bit of finesse, but if Trixie has the correct cards to deal with the situation, she can come out of this ahead.
yeah, players, after this game, we will try to get the stream quality improved. We might take a brief break in the stream, but for now,
Yeah,
thank you for
that's
bearing
what
with
I'm
us.
thinking we're going to have to do.
Yeah,
But I'd rather not take it down during the middle of the game.
I agree.
But yes, we're not incredibly pleased with this either.
All right, random discard to Nightmare Moon, and looks like it's going to be another Trixie.
Oh, the same one. See, she. Now, if I was Trixie, that's bad. I would have wanted to have played that. Playing that 2 Nightmare Moon with the showy, sending Applejack back, just good times all around. The only thing that could be better is if she was an Earth Pony.
This is very true. But Unicorn Master Race is present in purple for sure. Looks like we've got some interesting cards in Trixie's hand. I recognize one of those events as possibly being from the first block.
One of them is Phantasmal Tale, but I don't think. Oh, interesting.
And moving to score another point.
Is that enough? Is Trixie 3 power?
Trixie's not 3 power, but that's under lock and tree. Or the friend, you mean?
The friend, yeah.
I believe the friend is 3 power. I'll double check that.
Is that the third carbo loader flip?
It is.
I think that was the third. So we're not going to see carbo loaders in play. Is what's basically happening here?
Yes, that Trixie center stage is in fact a 3 power friend, so that is enough.
Okay, that was me misremembering then. I thought she was a 3 cost 2 power.
No, that one is Trixie even better.
Oh, it's even better. Oh, okay. I was thinking that was the showy one, center stage. What can I say? I'm not exactly the biggest blue unicorn fan, unless their name is Minuet.
And Applejack just grows and grows and grows.
So we're looking at 2 to 6. No,
No, I
2 to
believe that's
7.
I believe that's actually 8.
8.
2 for beating the.
Yes. So there were 2 troublemakers. Yeah, 2 2-pointers, 2 confronts now. So that's 4.
It may actually be
And
9.
I think it's 7.
Well, it was at 5 before with the confront, and then a defeat of Nightmare Moon for 3 points brings it up to 8.
Oh, right. Nightmare Moon is 8. Yeah. So yeah.
But it may actually be 1. Where was the Deep Darkness there
No, I
confronting?
think. Yes. So I think you're right. It is 9 points. And I believe that Princess Twilight is not actually Princess Twilight. I believe that is the figment that he just put into play. So we're at 9-3.
Applejack with 7 AT saved up, it looks like.
Yeah. Just drew a Deep Darkness.
Not sure if he wants to play that at this point in time. With his hand empty, he doesn't really have a large method of point
No.
acceleration anymore.
Yeah.
We do see a saving the day, though.
Yes, the Saving the Day can stop a single point there, and since there's no troublemakers in play, that's basically stopped Applejack's point gain for right now.
Saving the day causes, yes, the vexing effect.
Yes, the Vexing.
Yes. Although I'm not sure if Trixie's going to want to do that because, depending on how many cards Trixie has in hand, the AT reduction cost on events turn after turn may be more attractive.
Okay, looks like Applejack says, there's a troublemaker over here. I could beat those.
Plays a Brayburn and a Nightmare Moon Deep Darkness.
So does still... so yeah, willing to confront, depending on what happens with that Saving the Day.
Yep, Trixie thinking about that, saving the day. Does he want to get rid of it for this 1 point here, or maybe save it to prevent a DFO?
Yeah, so puts us up to 3-10 in Applejack's favor. Pages, it's because the person who programmed it wanted the symmetry of points closer to the table.
Playing a Spike over here.
Yes. Does play well with the event strategy. Of course, if Spike is frightened or leaves play somehow, you do lose those events.
Yeah, but he's just going to go ahead and banish Spike immediately, get that
Okay, so he
Ponyville
just
emergency.
says, I just want Ponyville emergency, yes.
And moves Applejack home.
Yep.
Probably a good call. Doesn't want to see a DFO the next turn. And moving Deep Darkness home as well will force Applejack to invest even more AT just to get that 1 point if he wants.
Would you Would you flip Trixie here?
It depends on what else he has in hand. Without being able to see that, I don't know if we can say that. And honestly, while he is getting the ability to play events for less cost during face-offs, the big advantage of course, flipping your main is getting that power requirement, which he already has easily met here.
Okay, he is in fact flipping Trixie.
And spending his last AT to draw a card.
Mm-hmm. So now his events are decreased by 2.
Well, the first one is, anyway.
Well, the first one, yes. And only on the opponent's turn if they start a face-off. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be their turn. If the opponent starts a face-off on your turn, she does still fire. So that's few and far between.
Now, this is interesting that Applejack has come this far and is only now really beginning to encounter the wall that Trixie's trying to set up. We'll have to see how long that wall can be kept moving.
Yeah. This is probably a little bit further than Trixie would have liked, just because now Trixie has quite the point climb here. She needs, 7 more points to come out ahead, and in that process, she needs to completely stop Applejack.
She is posed to do it, and Applejack did just move, Thomas did just move Applejack up to Rock Slide again, which, yep, Definitely signals an incoming troublemaker.
There it is. That will get rid of that Princess Twilight Sparkle figment, too.
Yes, assuming that it is in fact a villain.
So, it might be worth just DFOing here, sending Applejack back again, scoring 2 points. Though you do give Applejack a point as well. But, that's fewer than you'd get from beating up that Epic.
That's true, but giving Applejack the other point here will bump Applejack up to the next...
To 11, yes.
Yeah.
And they would lose the saving the day.
Now, I think
So it really depends on the...
I think I see
really
a Cutie
depends.
Pox scare in Trixie's hand, actually, so that might not be a terrible choice.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
And this is exactly what Trixie wants to see. He's going to need those forced movement events, and as many of them as he can get.
Absolutely. The saving the day will give the discount he needs. So, we might... Oh, another spike. Just going to grab that Ponyville emergency again, do you think?
I don't know. It looked like he was taking a peek at what appeared to be interdimensional portal.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see. Of course, the advantage...
You could portal the Trixie to send Applejack home again.
Now, that is a possibility, but I'm not sure he's going to pop Spike here. And in fact, it looks like he's going to leave Spike there for a while, and I agree with this, because he still has the AT to play the Cutie Pox scare this turn.
Right. It only costs 2, and he's got 3.
Oh, he is going to go ahead and pop the Spike.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not sure I would have done that there. I might have tried to leverage Spike's advantage for multiple turns.
Well, the Ponyville emergency happened at the very least.
Yeah, and at an AT reduced cost as well.
Yes.
Now, this is important to know. By playing Spike there instead of playing Cutie Pox Scare, he hasn't revealed any new information in his hand to his opponent. So even though he did play the Spike and banish it, he is holding on to that event, that CPS, which can, of course, be played on either his or his opponent's turn.
Yep.
So I can understand the logic behind that. And it looks like he is going to try to move over to Rock Slide.
Still scores that point. So, only 5 points behind now.
Yeah, Lord
Well,
Tyrek
how
will
much
take
time
care of
is
that
left
token.
in the round?
I'm not sure. We'll have to get a...
Looks like
a call from
about
the judge.
10 minutes left. So, still enough time for Trixie to come out ahead here.
Derp, you're right. Derp. You're right. Sorry.
Yep, token Figment will be frightened unless that was actually a Princess Twilight.
No, because he never played a Figment, so it should just be gone. Oh, about 5 minutes, my mistake.
Applejack definitely moving up.
Yep. At this point, Applejack needs to do everything. Like, Applejack doesn't need to score points. She needs to buy time. And the more resources that Trixie puts in not giving Applejack points, the better Applejack is. So.
Ooh, a clipped wings on cover to cover.
Oh, yep, that's a good call as well.
Stop Trixie from being able to meticulous, get that AT advantage.
Yes.
Trixie was really well posed to leverage that AT advantage with a combination of saving the day Trixie and cover to cover.
Yeah. So maybe that wasn't a Figment. Then where did the Figment go? Or maybe they just don't know that tokens when they're frightened leave play.
It looks like it's been removed.
Well, yes, but they put a power on Tyrek.
Applejack just holding on to an AJ's Epiphany in hand, and it looks like we're going to see a scope things out from Trixie here, hoping to draw into some kind of answer.
Never mind. All right.
Oh, Undoing the scope things out here.
It's a pile of presents in a deep darkness, so that's 5.
So that's 10 versus 11 because they put the counter on Tyrek there.
Well, Applejack's
That's
at substantial power. Flipping again, and that will go to AJ's favor.
Yes. Oh no, they didn't put the counter on Tyrek. Oh, okay. I guess they managed to clear that up, and I missed it.
And it looks like AJ actually lost that face-off. We must have missed the last flip there.
No. Trixie lost the face-off.
Oh, Trixie was the one challenging.
Yes.
A valiant attempt.
So that scope things out that Trixie tried to play is not a very good card with a Deep Darkness in play.
Nope, not particularly stellar.
Okay, so it looks like Trixie does not have an answer to Applejack here. That's going to put Applejack up to 12. And with fewer than 5 minutes left, I don't think Trixie can pull this off. Oh, playing a free portal to try and send Applejack home.
That's a nice trick.
Yes. This is why he got the portal back. But it requires actually revealing an even.
Looks like he is going to scope things out on his opponent's turn. Good choice there. Get the most use out of that card that he can while Deep Darkness is on the field.
Draw 2, put 3 back. Not sure I would have bothered. Unless you actually thought that Applejack was going to flip highly here.
Well, if he's sitting with
Oh,
dead
did they
card...
not flip? Yeah, we do still flip. Yeah.
Ooh, and a chaos effect from Trixie.
Aha! So he just wants to frighten that Deep Darkness.
Most likely.
I'm gonna fight chaos effect.
Yep, definitely paying the 1 and get that Deep Darkness frightened. Unfortunate that he played the scope things out before that point.
Well, he had to if he wanted to make sure he flipped the zap.
Well, that's true. So now we do see some elements of chaos control here in Trixie. With blue as a secondary color, it's possible that Zap could just be in there for the face-off effect. I've seen it. I've seen stranger things.
Mm-hmm.
Applejack's still well positioned, but Trixie's slowly catching up.
Yes, but I think there's about 2 minutes left. So Trixie's going to need to pull some serious tricks out of her sleeve to win this.
I think you mean her hat.
That's not what the song is.
No, it's not. All right, it looks like time has been called in the round, so the officials are explaining end-of-game procedures to the players.
So Trixie went first, so this will be a turn on both players' sides. But unless Trixie can score 4 points, Applejack doesn't need to take her turn.
Yeah, Trixie would need a bit of a miraculous play to get rid of Tyrek and trigger a DFO and somehow stop AJ as well, although that Cutie Pox skill in hand might do it.
He has to try challenging, yes. If he does not beat Tyrek here at 0 versus 6...
Now, putting a Brayburn on top is a good play, although his opponent will be flipping 2 cards, and that's just not going to be enough.
0 versus 6, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
A very good try there, though.
Desperate measures.
Yep, and that's going to be good game from our players.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was interesting. Trixie put up more of a fight than I was anticipating there. I think had they had infinite time, Trixie might have won that.
Yep, I agree. And Trixie was pretty well positioned there at the end with numerous sources of AT gain and card advantage, and was able to try to use all its tricks in repeated fashion, but just take a bit too long to get set up. And that is the issue Control has run into in this game before. You will win eventually.
Yes.
It's just, can you do it in time? But kind of an interesting matchup to start things off here. To all our viewers in the stream, we're going to make a brief adjustment to try to get the quality up here.
Yeah, we're going to try and stop this stuttering that's going on here. So we do apologize, but we didn't want to take down the stream in the middle of the game. So we'll be back as soon as we can.
Thank you again.
See you all soon.
See you soon.